Hello, happy Friday, my sweet Stampin' friends. Deborah Harrison here with Simply Sweet and Ink Designs, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in San Antonio, Texas, and I am delighted for you to join me today to make a really beautiful and simple card with the Perennial Postage Bundle. Before I get started, I just kind of wanted to give y'all an update on our new house. I haven't kind of talked about it in a while because it's just been a lot of paperwork and a lot of meetings. But this week we finally closed on the construction loan. So I hope to be sharing pictures as it progresses with the construction. So hello, Dawn. Thank you for hopping on and hanging out with us today. So let me go ahead. I'm going to flip my camera down, tell you what is going on, and then we'll get into the project today. All right, just want to give you a quick reminder about our starter kit promotion that's running only until February 29th. We're in a leap year, hard to believe. So you get two options actually for for $99 plus sales tax. You can select one of two options. You can get the Stampin' Up! Glass Matte Studio, which is really cool. I shared a video on that. Tons of really cool features. You can do that. Get that free. That's actually a $60 value. And so a really amazing deal. A nice little thing to add to your crafting basics, right? Or if you just don't want them Glass Matte Studio, you can have the other option of selecting an additional $30 in products. Either option, you're going to get to select $125 in products, plus you're going to get free shipping on that starter kit. So if you have any questions about it, I would love to answer them for you. I'm actually hoping to do a video, kind of a Q&A, maybe sometime in early February. So be thinking of any questions that maybe you have for me that you've been longing to ask, but now would be a great time. Go ahead and message them to me, email them to me, post them, whatever, so that I can address those questions about the starter kit. It's a really amazing deal. And I know people on my team who have joined have been like, really amazed that it's way more than just the starter kit. They enjoy the starter kit, usually join on a promo, but then they enjoy all the perks that they get afterwards that they didn't realize even existed. All right, so we're going to make, today is just a very, very simple card. And so it's using the Perennial Postage Bundle, which is the focus bundle for my February Sweet Creations Club. Beautiful set of sentiments, really awesome set of dies that look like postage stamps of all different varying sizes. But what I really love about this is the Perennial Lavender Designer Series paper. It can work on its own because it is so beautiful. So I wanted to share this with you so that you could see all these beautiful colors that are in this paper. It does come 12 by 12. As you can tell, I've kind of got partially cut sheets here. And it's just very, very just simple. I like purple. Some people may not, but I think this has just a nice variety. What I really like about it is the crumb cake, how they kind of toned it down and accented with the crumb cake in the background that I really think is just so beautiful with this paper. All right, so I'm going to put this off to the side. Before I get started, I want to let you know who was our share prize winner from last week. And that was Marlene Sides. Now, Marlene, I do have your mailing address, so I will be sending you some happy mail soon. And I want to let you know the share prize for this week. If you do share this week's video, I'm going to enter you into a drawing to win the paper butterfly accents. So beautiful. That's what we're going to play with today. And just make sure that you comment, share, you click the share button. If you are on my Simply Sweet in Ink Designs group page, you will need to go over to my business page. Same name, but it's my business page. Click the share button from there. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to do it from the group. And also, too, if you're on YouTube, you can click that share button and also be entered. But you do need to be in the United States to be able to be in the drawing. All right, so let me go ahead and get my supplies in place. I'm going to set my little quick reference guide over here in the corner for you. We've got some different measurements that we're going to be doing. So let me go on ahead and let's start off with our first piece, which is the thick basic white cardstock. This measures 4 1/4 by 11 inches. Just a simple card base that I scored in half at 5.5 inches. And let's go ahead and burnish that. Make sure we get a nice crisp line there. Now, next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of deviate a little bit on my measurements. So I have here a piece of the designer series paper that is green. And my original measurement, and this is the one that's in my project sheet that's going out tomorrow at 3 o'clock Central Time, I put on there 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And that just gives me a little bit of a white banding around my card. But I thought I want to see what it looks like to do the full, cover the full card. So I have changed it for today's project to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 so that it covers the entire card surface, because I'm curious what that's going to look like. All right, everything else stays the same, only that measurement deviated. All right, so the next thing is what I did is I took that piece of the designer series paper that has just the stalks of the lavender with some of that crumb cake in the background, and I cut that piece to 4 by 5 1/4, and it's just going to go on as a layer right here on my card front. Hello, Paula. Hey, Bonnie, Anita. Thanks, guys, so much for joining me, hopping on live to craft with me today. All right, let's see. Let's go ahead and get this centered right there on the card front. Now, the next thing that I did is I die cut out a piece of Highland Heather cardstock. And this piece, to start off with, measures 2 1/4 by 5 1/4. And so I'm going to take one of my favorite die sets, which honestly, I don't know why it took me so long to buy them, because they're amazing. They're called the Basic Borders dies, make really fun little accent elements. But there was one die in here that I never used till this project, and that is this curved piece. So we're going to use that today. Let me go ahead and get my die cutting machine in here. And this does not have to be perfect at all. So if you have the Stampin' Up! Die cutting machine, we're going to be using plate 1. Then we're going to use our shim, which is plate 2. Then we're going to do plate 3, put our piece of cardstock on here. And then we're going to die cut. And I'm going to line it up along the edge here. And it doesn't have to be exact. It doesn't have to be exactly centered. It doesn't have to be exactly straight. We can have some fun with that. Oops, it kind of moved on me. We don't want it moving, though. That's something we don't want. And I don't have my washi tape nearby, so we're going to make the best of this. I think that will work. All right, so let's go ahead and run that through. And there we go. We've got our little layer there. So I'm just going to glue this on the edge of my Lavender Designer Series paper. I'm getting to the end of my glue here. I've got 2 of them and they're almost empty, but I'm hoping just to squeak out just a little bit more before I toss the bottle. All right, let's go ahead. We've got that. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of crumb cake, and this piece measures 3/4 by, 4 inches. And I'm going to do a little bit of stamping. One of the sentiments in the stamp set says, "Thank you for your friendship." And so I think that makes a nice long sentiment for my little strip here. I'm using am I using Gorgeous Grape? I'm actually using Gorgeous Grape here. So I'm going to use Gorgeous Grape ink because I want it a little bit darker than Highland Heather, so it shows up nicely on this crumb cake. And I'm just going to stamp my sentiment. And then we're going to glue it across. And there's really just a couple of more items. Like I said, really simple card today. Let's go ahead and kind of put that about right here, a little bit towards the bottom. Now, what I'm going to do next, actually, we're going to do the inside too. I forgot about that. So these are the paper butterfly accent that are so, so pretty. I want to say there are 8 sheets and each one of them has 5 little die cuts in it. And so what I am using today is I'm going to use the large and the medium sideways flying butterfly. And I want to show you a little tip on doing this. What I like to do is I like to stack them so that they have kind of a layered 3D look to them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to snip off the antenna on my larger butterfly because I don't think my butterfly needs to have two sets of antennae. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add just a smidge of glue on my medium butterfly, on the back of the medium. And then I'm going to line up the bodies together so it looks like one solid butterfly. All right. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of glue on the body. I don't really want it anywhere else. Tell you, I'm at the end of my glue here. Hang in there, guy. Come on, you can hang in there. All right. And then I'm going to have my butterfly just flying here on my card. Now I'm going to let this sit for a minute before I fluff out that wing. So while that's dried is I'm going to work on the inside of my card. And here on the inside of my card, I went ahead and I die cut out a postage die. Now my postage die measures approximately 3 3/4 by 5 inches. And I'm going to use crumb cakes cardstock. Now I've already die cut that out. And so I'm just going to glue that on the inside of my card. Just to kind of bring in and coordinate the color that's on the outside with the inside. And then my next thing is I have a layer inside, just basic white, and this measures 3 3/8 by 4 5/8. So I'm going to glue it on my crumb cake layer. And then I have here just a little strip of coordinating designer series paper that measures 3/4 by 3 3/8. And I'm just going to add that as a little accent down here at the bottom of my inside. Come on, one more. This is my last piece, glue. You can take it. You can handle it. There we go. All right, so we're going to glue that at the bottom. And I think by now my front should be done. So I'm going to just gently lift up that top layer. And if you want, you can do the bottom layer as well. It just depends on how much you want it. Isn't that beautiful? I love it. All right, we have one last thing to do, and that is to add our bling, which is these really beautiful, they're called purple fine shimmer gems. And so we're just going to embellish the front of our card with some of these little gems just to add a little sparkle. I think I'm going to change it up and put it there this time. All right, so you have to let me know, which one do you like better? Do you like it with a little bit of a border, or do you like it with no white border around the edge? Like I said, I went to the full length or full card base for this card, and then in my sample, I did it without just a little bit of a border. All right, so if you like this project and you want to make more with the Perennial Postage Bundle and those beautiful butterflies, I do have my Sweet Creations Club. It is open for the subscription period is open from now till February 5th. You're going to make some really beautiful projects with the beautiful Perennial Postage Bundle and the designer series paper. You're going to make 4 cards and a treat box. So I want to show you, this is actually kind of like a pop-up card, and that's the back of it. And so you can actually lay it flat for mailing. This is a really, really simple set of projects to do that just has so much wow with that paper and the butterflies. And then we've got this card that's got a little bit of embossing in the background there. And then we have this card. And then you're going to make one treat holder, which is like a fun little box to make it look like it's a piece of mail. And then you can open it up. So if you are interested in my Sweet Creations Club, it is $39 if you're a club member. If you just want to try it out for a month, it's $45. That does include about $20 in consumable product, the shipping, and the PDF tutorial for you. All right, so like I said, registration for this February kit ends on February 5th, and I usually ship them out by the 15th unless there's a back order issue. All right, so I'm going to check here real quick any comments that you have, any questions you have. Thanks, guys, so much for joining me. Oh, so you have the basic border dies, but you have never used them. Oh, my goodness. I love these basic border dies. When I started, I was the same way. They sat in my little bin forever, but when I started playing with them, they add just that perfect little accent. All right. Thank you, Velma, Bonnie, Melinda. Thanks, guys. Karen, Jan. Thanks so much for joining me, guys. I have really actually, oh, okay. So today's project was really easy, right? That's because I'm going to make up for it next Friday and I'm going to do a much more complex project. It actually took me a while to figure out the measurements. But next week, I'm going to share with you how to make this cute little treat box that looks like a mailbox. So you can open it up, you can put your little treats inside. And then also too, we have a little working little sign there. So come back next Friday. I'll show you how to make this box. Until then, I hope that you'll have a really blessed weekend and we'll see y'all next week. Bye guys.